Have you ever walked into a room and felt a sudden shift in the air? Like everyone was noticing something about you that you couldn't quite put your finger on. It might sound dramatic, but for many of us as we grow older, subtle habits can quietly change how others see us, and not always in the best way. The truth is, friends and family might notice these behaviors, yet they're often too polite to say anything outright. We can go on for years unaware of how we come across, which can result in feeling overlooked or misunderstood. But here's the twist. Once you know what's happening, you have the power to fine-tune those habits, making sure you're projecting confidence and warmth in every interaction. The reality is that aging isn't just about the number of birthdays you've celebrated. It's about maintaining a strong sense of self, staying socially connected, and feeling respected at every stage of life. Think of all the messages you've absorbed over the years. Commercials that paint older adults as out of touch, or acquaintances who treat you as if you've lost your spark. It's easy to see how certain misconceptions can latch onto minor habits, like neglecting a routine grooming task or speaking louder than you realize, and turn them into reasons why people keep their distance. Yet the solution doesn't require a dramatic makeover or an expensive intervention. It simply involves being open to noticing the small details you might have overlooked and making changes that keep you feeling vibrant and self-assured. Why should you care? First, because no one wants to be unfairly labeled. Most of these habits fly under the radar precisely because they develop so gradually. You don't wake up one morning and decide to stop grooming, start interrupting, or wear clothes that haven't fit in decades. These things happen in tiny increments. An untrimmed nail here, a skipped haircut there, until one day you're projecting an image that doesn't match who you truly are. Second, there's a real emotional toll when you realize people are avoiding certain conversations with you or reacting differently than before. You might think they're just busy or times have changed, without suspecting that a simple shift in your daily routine or mindset could reverse those awkward moments. By recognizing these issues head-on, you're giving yourself the gift of clarity. Imagine feeling at ease when you walk into a gathering, confident that your appearance is polished, your voice is at a pleasant volume, and your overall energy exudes openness. Imagine having conversations that flow naturally because no one's worried about being interrupted or weighed down by negativity. That's the essence of aging gracefully. Not losing your unique qualities, but presenting them in a way that fosters genuine connections and mutual respect. In this video, we're going to tackle the most common yet least mentioned habits that can unintentionally hold us back. Stay with me until the end, because the insights you'll gain might just change how you view aging and how you experience it for the better. Let me tell you about Walter. Walter was 82, the kind of man who always took pride in looking sharp. Back in the day, he wouldn't step outside without a fresh shave, polished shoes, and a crisp shirt. But somewhere along the way, those little routines started to slip. Maybe it was the long winters or just the comfort of familiarity, but Walter stopped trimming his eyebrows, let his hair grow a little wild, and began wearing the same old flannel shirt day after day. His family noticed. His neighbors noticed. But no one said a word. Out of love, out of respect, maybe even out of fear they'd hurt his feelings. Until one morning, Walter caught a glimpse of himself in the bathroom mirror. Not the man he remembered, but someone tired. Someone smaller than he used to be. That was his wake-up call. So Walter did something simple, but powerful. He booked a haircut, shaved that scruffy beard, and treated himself to a new shirt that actually fit him well. And you know what? The change was almost instant. He stood taller, smiled easier, and couldn't help but notice people looking at him differently, with warmth, with respect. Even his own energy felt different, like he'd added a spring back into his step. The truth is, when personal grooming slips, it's not just about appearances. It's about the message you're sending without saying a word. Studies show that when you feel well-groomed, you naturally carry yourself differently. You stand straighter, make better eye contact, and project energy that draws people in rather than pushing them away. And the good news? You don't need hours in front of the mirror or expensive products to get there. A regular haircut, trimmed nails, and clothes that fit comfortably, those simple things make a world of difference. If skincare has never been your thing, no problem. A little moisturizer or lip balm can prevent dry, flaky skin and instantly help you look refreshed. And gentlemen, if you wear facial hair, keeping it neatly trimmed can add polish without much effort. The goal isn't vanity, it's confidence. It's about showing the world and yourself that you still take pride in how you show up every single day. Small changes, big impact. You'll not only feel better in your own skin, but you'll also notice people responding to you with more kindness, attention, and respect. Now that we've covered grooming, let's move on to something even more surprising. How the way we speak, often without realizing it, can change how people feel around us. Let's talk about something many of us don't think twice about, but everyone around us notices: the clothes we wear. Now, I know what you might be thinking. At my age, who's really paying attention to what I'm wearing? The answer: more people than you realize. The truth is, clothing sends a message without you ever opening your mouth. It tells the world how you see yourself. Are you someone who's still engaged, full of life, and confident? Or have you quietly decided to fade into the background? Meet Harold. Harold's 80 years old, and once upon a time, he was known for his sharp sense of style. He had an eye for color, he wore well-fitted shirts, and folks around town often commented on how put together he looked. But like many of us, over the years, Harold got comfortable. Too comfortable. Before long, his closet was filled with the same faded, stretched-out clothes he had been wearing for years. Pants that sagged, shirts with collars that had lost their shape. His family noticed, his friends noticed, but no one said a word. Out of respect, maybe, or because they didn't know how. After all, it's tough to tell someone you care about that they're starting to look a little, well, tired. Then one day, Harold decided to try something different. He pulled out a crisp button-down shirt, one he hadn't worn in years, and paired it with a new pair of well-fitted slacks. The change was immediate. People smiled. Someone even paid him a compliment. "Harold, you look great today." And you know what? Harold felt it too. He stood a little taller, walked with more confidence, and just like that, he felt like himself again. You see, it's not about chasing the latest fashion trends or dressing like you're 25 again. It's about wearing clothes that fit well, feel good, and show the world you still care. Because like it or not, when we show up in baggy, worn-out clothes, people often, consciously or not, assume we've stopped caring. And that assumption can change how they treat us. Studies have shown that people naturally associate neat, well-fitted clothing with energy, confidence, and even good health. On the other hand, oversized, outdated, or worn-out clothes can unintentionally signal disengagement or decline. And that's just not fair, because inside you're still you. So what can you do? Honestly, it's easier than you think. Start small. Invest in a few key pieces that make you feel good the moment you put them on. A nice button-up shirt, a pair of jeans or slacks that actually fit, maybe even a lightweight jacket that gives your outfit some structure. Stick to colors that complement your skin tone and fabrics that feel comfortable but still hold their shape. And don't forget your shoes. Worn-out sneakers or tired old loafers can drag down your whole look. A clean, supportive pair of shoes not only looks better, but helps with posture and balance too, which, let's be honest, matters more and more as we age. Even little updates like a new watch, belt, or scarf can give your outfit a fresh feel without a full wardrobe overhaul. And if you're not sure where to start, don't be afraid to ask a friend, a stylish family member, or even someone at the store for a little guidance. People love giving advice on this stuff, and you might be surprised how good it feels to try something new. Because here's the thing, taking care of your appearance isn't about vanity, it's about pride. It's about showing up every day and reminding yourself and the world that you're still here, still vibrant, still engaged. And when you feel good about how you look, it changes everything. You stand taller, smile easier, and people naturally gravitate toward you. So next time you're getting dressed, take a second look in the mirror. Ask yourself, does this outfit reflect who I am today? Or am I stuck in what used to be? Because the way you dress should represent the person you are now, wise, experienced, and still full of life. Now, speaking of subtle habits that change how people see us, what if I told you that the words we use, and even how often we complain, might be quietly pushing people away without us realizing it? Stick with me, because this next one hits closer to home than you might expect. Now let's talk about something that quietly drives people away, often without us even realizing it. Complaining, criticizing, constantly pointing out what's wrong with the world today. It sneaks up on us. One moment we're sharing a harmless observation about how things used to be better. The music, the manners, the sense of community. The next thing you know, it's become a habit. And the people around us start pulling back, avoiding those long conversations that once brought everyone together. Let me introduce you to Roger. Roger's 75, sharp as a tack, and always full of opinions. For years, he loved gathering with family and friends, sharing stories about the good old days. But somewhere along the way, his conversations took a turn. He found himself commenting on everything. How young people don't work as hard, how technology is ruining society, how nothing today feels as good as it used to. At first, it was harmless, just Roger being Roger. But slowly, his family stopped inviting him to every dinner. His friends grew quieter around him. They still loved him, of course, but they couldn't help but feel drained every time he launched into another list of complaints. One night, his grandson finally said it out loud. "Grandpa, do you even like anything these days?" It hit Roger like a ton of bricks. He didn't mean to sound negative. He just hadn't realized how often his words focused on what was wrong instead of what was right. But that simple question sparked something in him. He took a step back and realized how easy it had become to criticize everything around him, and how that habit was quietly pushing the people he loved further away. Here's the thing. Negativity is contagious. Even if it starts small, over time it changes the entire mood of a room. People naturally gravitate toward those who make them feel good, inspired, and uplifted. And when every conversation feels like a trip down memory lane laced with complaints, it makes people think twice about picking up the phone or stopping by. Now, that doesn't mean you have to sugarcoat life or pretend everything's perfect. Not at all. It's perfectly natural to have frustrations, especially when life keeps changing so fast. But there's power in balance. Choosing to share a positive observation, a funny story, or a little curiosity about the new world we're living in. Instead of saying, "Kids today don't work like we did," try flipping the script. It's wild how different things are now. I wonder what it'll be like in another 20 years. Just like that, you open the door to a real conversation instead of shutting it down. So what can you do? Start paying attention. Notice how often your words lean toward complaints or criticism, and when you catch yourself, challenge it. Find something positive, hopeful, or lighthearted to balance it out. Share a story that makes someone smile. Ask a question that invites someone else to speak. Because when you show up with curiosity instead of criticism, people feel it. They want to be around you. They seek you out, not out of obligation, but because your presence lifts them up instead of weighing them down. And isn't that what we all want as we get older? To stay connected, valued, and engaged. To be the kind of person others look forward to seeing. Stick with me, because up next, we're going to talk about something that's even more powerful than the words we speak. the silent message your body language sends every single day. And trust me, this is one small shift that can change the way the world sees you almost instantly. The hard truth is, negativity is contagious. And most of the time, we don't even realize we're spreading it. Take Roger, for example. Roger is 75, and like many of us, he's seen the world change in ways he never imagined. He grew up in a time when neighbors knew each other's names, folks sat on front porches in the evening, and life moved just a little slower. Somewhere along the way, though, Roger started pointing out all the things he didn't like about the world now. The music was too loud. The kids didn't work as hard. Technology moved too fast. And everything just felt rushed. At first, his family shrugged it off. That's just grandpa being grandpa, they'd say with a smile. But as the years went by, something changed. Slowly, they started calling less, visiting less, keeping conversations shorter. Not because they didn't love him, but because every time they tried, it turned into another list of complaints. Then one afternoon it happened. His grandson, tired of hearing about how terrible the world had become, finally looked up and asked, "Grandpa, do you even like anything these days?" That hit Roger hard. And if we're being honest, it's a question worth asking ourselves too. You see, when we fall into the habit of focusing only on what's wrong, we don't just change how we feel, we change how people feel around us. Conversations start to feel heavy. Interactions become draining instead of uplifting. And whether they mean to or not, people start pulling away. And it's not because they don't care. It's because deep down, all of us are drawn to places and people that make us feel good. That's human nature. Now, don't get me wrong. You don't have to pretend life is all sunshine and roses. We've lived too long and seen too much for that. There's real value in sharing our experiences, our struggles, and our wisdom, but there's also power in balance, in choosing when to share a concern and when to shift our focus towards something positive or lighthearted. So what can you do if you've caught yourself falling into this habit? Start by practicing awareness. Listen to yourself the next time you're talking with friends or family. Are you leading with what's wrong, what hurts, or what frustrates you? If so, pause and challenge yourself to flip the script. Instead of saying, "Back in my day, things were better," try, "Back in my day, things were different, but I'm curious how this new way works." That one small shift changes the entire tone of a conversation. It invites others in instead of pushing them away. And if you find yourself stuck in a moment of frustration, look for something interesting, funny, or hopeful to add. Share a memory that makes someone smile. Ask a question that sparks a story. Remember, people naturally gravitate toward those who make them feel good, inspired, and valued. The key isn't to bottle up your thoughts or sugarcoat reality. The key is creating a space where the people you love feel safe to laugh, connect, and share their own stories. And when you do that, when your presence feels uplifting rather than draining, something beautiful happens. People won't just enjoy being around you. They'll seek you out. Because at the end of the day, the mark we leave isn't about how many complaints we had. It's about the energy we shared, the smiles we sparked, and the memories we helped create. So if this resonates with you, if you're still watching and finding these insights helpful, drop a comment below with number 4 to let me know you're here. And if you haven't already, be sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on the notification bell so you don't miss any of our upcoming videos designed to inspire, inform, and keep us thriving together. Now let's keep going, because up next, we're diving into something that's just as important as what you say, how you carry yourself without saying a word. Now let's talk about something most people never tell you, but they absolutely notice: your posture and body language. It's one of the most subtle yet powerful ways we communicate without even saying a word. Over time, as we age, it's easy to develop habits like slouching, shuffling our feet, or folding our arms in front of us. We don't do it on purpose, Sometimes it's just the body getting a little tired, or maybe it's comfort. But here's the thing, people are watching, not because they're judging, but because body language speaks volumes, and most of us don't even realize the message we're sending. Let me share the story of Eleanor. Eleanor is 83, fiercely independent, and has always been known as the go-getter in her family. But lately, she started noticing something strange. Whenever she went to the grocery store, strangers would rush over to help her, lifting bags she hadn't asked help with, insisting she needed assistance. At family gatherings, her kids and grandkids started treating her like she was fragile, as if she might break at any moment. It confused her. I'm still the same Eleanor, she thought. Why is everyone treating me like I've suddenly become helpless? Then one day her daughter snapped a candid photo of her at a family picnic, and there it was, clear as day. Eleanor stood with her shoulders rounded forward, arms crossed tightly, her back slightly hunched. She didn't even realize she was doing it, but the message was loud and clear. I'm tired. I'm frail. That photo was a wake-up call. So Eleanor decided to make a change. Nothing dramatic, just simple, intentional adjustments. She started practicing standing taller, rolling her shoulders back, and walking with purpose. When talking to someone, she made eye contact, smiled, and kept her arms relaxed by her side instead of crossed. Little by little, something incredible happened. People started treating her differently. They spoke to her like an equal again, not like someone who needed to be protected. Here's the reality. Posture changes perception. Studies have shown that strong, open body language makes us appear more confident, more energetic, and yes, even younger. Meanwhile, slouching or avoiding eye contact can unintentionally make us seem tired, disengaged, or frail, even if that's not how we feel inside. And the best part? You can fix this starting today. It's all about awareness. Pay attention the next time you're walking into a room, sitting down for a chat, or even standing in line at the store. Are your shoulders rolled forward? Is your head down? Are you shuffling instead of walking tall? Try this simple trick. Imagine there's a string gently pulling you up from the top of your head, aligning your spine naturally. Roll your shoulders back, lift your chest slightly, and take purposeful steps. Feet off the ground, not dragging. You'd be surprised how much more energy you'll feel just by changing the way you carry yourself. And don't forget about eye contact. Meeting someone's gaze, even just for a few seconds, sends a powerful message that you're present, engaged, and confident. It instantly changes the tone of any interaction. Even small movements like keeping your hands visible instead of crossed or tucked away make a difference. Open gestures invite connection. Closed-off body language does the opposite. The beauty of all this, you don't need fancy equipment or hours at the gym, just daily mindfulness. The way you sit, stand, and move through the world tells a story. Make sure it's the story you want people to hear. Because when you carry yourself with strength and confidence, people see you differently. They stop offering unwanted help. They start engaging with you, listening to you, respecting you. And isn't that what we all want? To feel seen, valued, and capable at any age. If you're still with me and this resonated, drop a number 5 in the comments to let me know you're here. And if you haven't subscribed yet, hit that button and turn on the bell, because the next tip is just as important. It's one of the most overlooked signs people notice, but rarely have the courage to tell you about. Let's talk about personal hygiene and why it matters now more than ever. All right, now it's time to talk about something that's deeply personal and honestly a little uncomfortable: bad breath and body odor. I know this is one of those topics nobody wants to bring up. People will avoid the conversation at all costs because, well, it's awkward. But make no mistake, it's one of the first things others notice. And if we're not careful, it's the one thing that silently pushes people away without us ever realizing why. Here's the tricky part. As we get older, our sense of smell naturally weakens. That means we might not notice subtle changes in how we smell, But trust me, everyone else does. Certain medications, dehydration, even dietary choices like too much coffee or certain foods can all contribute to bad breath or body odor. And the worst part? Most people will never tell you. They'll simply start pulling back, ending conversations quickly, or keeping their distance. Let me tell you about Frank. Frank was 78, a social butterfly his whole life. He was the guy everyone loved talking to at neighborhood barbecues or church gatherings. But slowly, he noticed something shifting. People weren't sticking around to chat like they used to. His neighbor, who once spent hours with him on the porch, now found a reason to wrap up their conversations in just a few minutes. At first, Frank couldn't figure it out. Did I say something wrong? He wondered. But the truth was, it wasn't his words. It was something far more subtle. It wasn't until his daughter gently but firmly sat him down and said, "Dad, I think it might be time to freshen up your routine a bit. Maybe try a new mouthwash and drink more water," that the light bulb went off. Frank made a few simple changes. He upped his water intake, added an alcohol-free mouthwash to his daily routine, and even swapped his deodorant for a more effective one. And you know what? The difference was immediate. People leaned in again, conversations felt natural, and that old social spark came rushing back. Here's the thing most folks don't realize. Dry mouth is one of the biggest culprits of bad breath, and it gets more common as we age. When your mouth doesn't produce enough saliva, bacteria builds up fast, and that leads to persistent odors no breath mint can fully cover. Add to that certain medications or health issues, and suddenly even your favorite cologne can't mask what's happening. And it's not just about breath. Body odor changes too. Your skin, your clothes, even your bed sheets can hold on to scents longer than you think. Wearing the same shirt or jacket multiple times without washing it? Trust me, people notice. So what can you do? Honestly, it's easier than you might think, and it makes a world of difference. Stay hydrated. Aim for at least 8 cups of water a day. It keeps your mouth moist, fights bacteria, and even helps your skin look healthier. Chew sugar-free gum or suck on mints. This helps stimulate saliva and keeps your breath fresh naturally. Switch to an alcohol-free mouthwash. The alcohol dries out your mouth, making things worse. A gentle, moisturizing rinse works best. Refresh your hygiene routine. Shower regularly, rotate your deodorants if needed, and choose breathable fabrics, especially in warmer weather. Don't forget your clothes. Wash shirts, scarves, hats, and even jackets more often than you think. Lingering odors hide in fabrics long after we stop noticing them. Because here's the truth. Good hygiene isn't just about feeling clean. It's about the way people perceive you. When you walk into a room, you want folks leaning in, ready to talk, not stepping back, trying to end the conversation early. And the best part? These little changes don't just help you smell fresh, they boost your confidence. You feel better, move easier, and suddenly the world feels a little more welcoming again. If this hit home for you, let me know by commenting number 6 down below. And if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button and turn on the notification bell. Because here at Senior Wisdom, we're all about sharing the tips, stories, and knowledge that help us feel our best every single day. Now that we've explored these 6 small habits, quiet little things that often go unnoticed but speak louder than we realize, I want you to pause and really think about what this means for your life. The way we show up, how we carry ourselves, how we speak, how we care for the little things, shapes the way the world sees us. But more importantly, it shapes how we see ourselves. And the beautiful part is, every single one of these habits is within our control. Maybe as you listen, you recognize 1 or 2 of these patterns in your own daily routine. And that's okay. In fact, it's more than okay. It means you're self-aware and you care enough to keep growing, to keep showing up as the best version of yourself, no matter your age. Because aging, it isn't about fading away and or losing your influence. It's not about shrinking into the background. It's about refinement. It's about stripping away what no longer serves you and choosing every single day to live with intention. The small changes we make, freshening up our appearance, adjusting our tone, walking a little taller, or speaking with kindness instead of criticism, those things ripple outward. They impact how people respond to us. They rebuild connections we thought were lost. And they remind the world that we are still here, vibrant, wise, and worthy of respect. Life is made up of moments, quiet moments where someone leans in instead of stepping back, conversations that leave you smiling instead of drained, days where you feel seen instead of invisible. And the truth is, you deserve those moments. You deserve to feel confident in your skin, proud of who you are, and connected to the people around you. So as we wrap up today, I'll leave you with this. Getting older is inevitable. Fading away is a choice. Choose to show up. Choose to be seen. Because the world needs your stories, your wisdom, and your presence, now more than ever. Thank you so much for spending this time with me today. If something here spoke to you, I'd love to hear about it in the comments. Share one thing you're taking away from this video and how you'll use it to show up stronger, prouder, and more you in the days ahead. And if you found this helpful, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. Because here at Senior Wisdom, we're building a community that believes growing older is just another word for growing better. I'll see you in the next video. Take care. And remember, you're never too old to keep shining.